Welcome to the Bold Analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for being a supportive member of this channel. Apart from political analysis, we learn some corporate social responsibility. And now I have been running a fundraiser for Sarah Tieno. We did an extension of 14 days up to 5th September. So Sarah Tieno is a subscriber who is a member of this channel, but she's suffered acute leukemia and she was detained in Kenyatta Hospital. So we have been collecting funds to support her. So far, 829,000 has been paid collectively, and there is only a balance of 215,000. There is also even her house is also locked, but we believe that we'll be in a position to get more than that, so that when she leaves the hospital on 5th September, she can pick up her life. We are doing that through my number, collecting a Steambolt 0710 62 78 89. Kevin Olo. You can also reach out directly to Sarah with even above the 50 shillings challenge. Her number is 07 16 357 360. Sarah Onyango. Yesterday, there was a meeting in Karen when Raila-Odinga met a team of members of the clergy. These members of the clergy were meeting Raila a day after meeting the president-elect, William Samoei Ruto, and President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So this meeting was a culmination of negotiations, or rather talks, that happened. I want to mention personally that I think during this election period, if there was a weak link, then that was the church, because the clergy took a bipartisan approach in the Kenyan election, and some would be seen putting posters in their churches, corners of their churches. Others ran political adverts in the middle of the service. I remember that one we once saw in Roysambu. And there was a lot of political lobbying that the church was used as a tool. And this really went, and after the election, they have abruptly become the agents of peace. While during the election, the campaign period, where neutrality was needed, they did not embrace neutrality, but the bipartisan approach, even now, they divided the country further and their followers further. I don't want to delve on that. And what, for me, my point of difference with the clergy is their understanding about peace is a concession speech from Raila-Odinga. Someone was asking a very interesting question today. Why is it Raila always being asked to concede? Every time, 2007, he was told concede. 2013, he was told concede. 2017, he was told concede. Why is it that Raila is the only one that is normally being asked to concede? Why is it that other people are not conceding, are not being asked to concede? I want to say that even in Bomas of Kenya, the very day that high level of wisdom was needed, the clergy did not play that role. Remember the day the results were being announced, 4 of the commissioners had split. They were in Serena Hotel giving a presser denouncing the results that Chebukati was to announce. The Raila-Odinga's agents had also protested, walked out of Bomas and gave a presser complaining that they had not been given time to peruse Form 34C, which is the form that was bearing the presidential results, even though initially that is something that the agents had been promised. So the drama in Bomas of Kenya, even when Wafula Chebukati tried to come, the first attempt to announce the results, and there was all that drama, and the repulsive force from the Azimio wing, still the church did not make, and for me, I want to be very honest. If there was to be wisdom, then after Chebukati was pulled out, they would have called a plenary meeting. then meet Wafula Chebukati, meet some of the Azimio agents, and meet Kenya Kwanza agents, and they solve the matter behind the scene. Then even if they were coming with a very neutral position. Even though I understand that there is the jaws of the law that were there. So even that day, I remember Ole Sapit was under fire the very day, because even the speech he gave on that event and the bipartisan approach, someone was saying they immediately became the police, and they were now policing the electoral process, or rather they became defenders of the process instead of being the negotiators or not the mediators. Now, if you listen to Raila Odinga's speech when he was after meeting those members of the clergy, the church leaders, you could really see that there was a difference. The tone of his speech and what he said, I want to believe, is not the reason why the members of the church were there. But without much ado, I want us to listen to this speech by Raila here.
Vile marehemu Askofu Desmond Tutu alisema ati bila ukweli hakuwezi kuwa na amani. Kwa hivyo tumesema tunataka kujua ukweli iko wapi. Yale ambayo yametendeka katika nchi yetu ilikuwa ni mambo ya kushangaza, imeshika piga watu wengi na bumbuazi, na watu wengi wako katika hali ya huzuni mpaka siku ya leo. Ni kweli kuna wengine wachache ambao vile vile wana furaha, wamesherekea. Hiyo ni haki ya kidemokrasia. Sisi tunajiuliza tu, na nimewaeleza ati huyu kama yule mwanariadha ambaye alienda kukimbia, na tumekimbia na mpaka tukafika mwisho, ambayo kwa kimombo inaitwa photo finish. Sasa naona wale marifari ambao walikuwa pale, mwingine anasema fulani ameshinda, mwingine anasema fulani ameshinda. Sasa haijulikani, na hii kitu inaweza kufanyika tu hapa kwetu Kenya. Maana yake kama wale ambao walipewa jukumu ya kusimamia uchaguzi wa taifa letu wanaweza kufanya maneno ile ya aibu vile ilifanyika, inaonyesha kwamba demokrasia yetu bado iko mbali sana. Na kwa wakati huu hata kuna mtu ambaye angefurahia ati kuna mshindi. Naona wengine wanasema ati rais elect. Kama kuna wale watu wa tume ya uchaguzi ambao ni watu 7, hatujasikia maoni yao kwa kijumla. Lakini tumesema sisi hatutaki kuona fujo au vurugu katika taifa letu. Nataka kuona amani ikidumu katika taifa letu. Kwa sababu tumeamua kutumia sheria na kuenda kwenye mbele mahakama kuu ili tupeleke ushahidi ambayo tuko nazo ya kuonyesha kwamba ilikuwa ni mzaha, haikuwa ni uchaguzi. Nataka kufanya hii kutetea demokrasia ya taifa letu ambayo watu wengi walipigania, wengine walikufa.
Now, I want to agree with Martha Karua's Director of Campaign Secretariat, Diana Ngao, that ignoring the glaring electoral issues led by the Chief Returning Officer of Wafula Chebukati is an invitation to embrace injustice. And that is why Azimio are in right to present the case. If you listen to what Raila was saying, you could see that maybe there are things that the church leaders were telling him, but I want to say, number one, that they went there with a stand. They went there with a position. It was not just a neutral. Now, they're putting on the neutral face, but there is what they've been saying. What they told William Ruto is different from what they told Raila Odinga and what they told President Uhuru Kenyatta, or what they spoke with the other leaders. However, this is something that is emerging. So what are you saying? Guys, I want to humbly request you to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. Still remind us of Sarah Atieno's 2050 Bob challenge that is still going on. over her Medicare medical bill, you can still contribute. And my number I had shared, and that is the one that is up there. So I still continue to reach out to you that we are ending on 5th September. And by that time, I hope that we'll be in a position to finish the 215 that is remaining. The clergy, according to me, are against the Supreme Court move. I don't know for what interest, but the truth of the matter, talking the truth, they are against that Supreme Court move. Why? I mentioned that they are politically aligned. They are politically aligned. In this election period, there is no way that just abruptly they have morphed up to become to become agents of peace, and they are synthesizing non-existing peace crisis. They seem to have created or created some crisis that they are solving. Well, what I see is we are not yet in a crisis. We are heading to Supreme Court. IBC have done their part. The other part of Supreme Court is part of the electoral process, is part of this process. We are not, the fact that Azmi is heading to Supreme Court is not something that should create a crisis. Because if you look at the way they have conducted themselves before election, why is it that these talks did not even happen? Immediately after results announced and Raila rejected results, they rushed, met deputy president, don't know whether they were called. Then after that, they were in State House. After State House, they were heading to Karen. And they seem to be solving a problem that Kenyans are saying, look here, the crisis is not here. The only thing that we're dealing with is an electoral injustice. And my biggest challenge, or my biggest disdain, my disdain with them is on the fact that they seem not to pursue that electoral justice. They are pursuing peace. And that is been covered by the biblical verses. They can also, and I see that why Raila is gauging and why Raila is was changing the tone and really rejecting them is I see them being used to gauge Uhuru's transition. It's a simple question that Kenya Kwanza have been saying, does Uhuru want to leave power? So these are the team, and if there is a crisis that have been created, perhaps that is the crisis that they're trying to solve, that perhaps Uhuru Kenyatta doesn't want to leave power and there's going to be transition frictions that are emerging, and all these are here. So when they gauge, I want to understand that perhaps what they spoke with Raila did not take. Raila was not in tandem with their position. Now, they're emissaries on backroom negotiations and posturing to have a stake in the next regime. This is the truth. President Uhuru Kenyatta's second term really was not very close with the men of the clergy, especially the ones from Mount Kenya. And for political reasons, you can support the president on that, because Uhuru Kenyatta kept on insisting that the church was being used to toxicate the Mount Kenya youth. They were being used to receive the proceeds of crime, of corruption. And what I see is, because they're already seeing a regime coming, President Uhuru Kenyatta's transition is here with us, someone is trying to get his relevance in this election. At the electioneering, the campaign period, there was a lot of alienations, political alienations. But at this moment, then there is a reality that either it's William Ruto or it's Raila Odinga. Whichever way, there needs to be someone is pursuing his own interest. Remember, I think somewhere in July, there were appointments that President did, and he handed over a title deed, some donation, and some parastatal appointment to the Akorino. So these other evangelical churches and the others that have also been playing, not been very neutral, are the ones that have been here. So what is really happening, you can actually see that while William Ruto campaigned with the evangelical team, the other caucus that is emerging wants to eclipse that and take charge of the process. I just don't know. The question is this: should we pursue peace at the expense of injustice? And what I'm saying is the quest for justice does not replace peace. It goes in tandem. They are parallel. When you're demanding justice, there will be peace. When you get it, there will be peace. And there is already peace. I don't think Kenyans are really going to cause frictions. I think we have outgrown that because we have a democracy that, if you ask me, it's growing very fast. That's my bold.